All right, welcome back, Backbones. I figured that I'd just do a little live chat with y'all. I know it's been a long while since I've done one of these, but figured it would be at least something fun to do. I think that I'll probably try to shoot for right around 30 minutes. Got a new setup. I'm in my office, kind of just trying to set something up that makes it a little bit interesting for viewers. So I figured that I would just chat a little bit, talk to the camera, and try to, just work on my communication skills on camera. I do have some different things that I would want to do with the YouTube channel, doing a lot of stuff, blogging, getting a lot of new content that's going up about travel tips, ways to keep yourself safe, a little bit of destination stuff. But right now I'm currently working a lot on travel tips and looking at like what's some of the best type of stuff to take while you are traveling through. Personally, I like to just throw everything on my back, so I've been writing about best backpacks. Not really doing a whole lot of luggage. I do have like some stuff for best luggage out there in 2024. Looking at travel scams that are common in 2024 and what's been going on in the past year here in Europe and different places in Africa with the travel scams, like with Morocco. You all saw that I went there and stuff that I've researched and found that they're pulling out there, and other stuff that different viewers and people have discussed with me personally about stuff that they've encountered. So that's the stuff that I kind of doing there. And with the travel blog stuff, or I guess travel vlog, not travel blog. It's a little nuance, so that's more with the video stuff. So looking at doing some more stuff that's more motivational, looking at taking breaths, and the importance of breathing. And it's not just in the way that we communicate, but the way that we learn. Like everything that we do is through breath. So taking a deep breath, watching people and listening to people is just as important to paying attention to breath. So like paying attention to people's breaths when you're learning a new language, it helps tune your mind into the syllables that they are speaking and such. So it might be difficult when you're learning a new language to hear what they're saying. Like with Portuguese, it's a little bit different than say Spanish, where it's like yo hablo español. So it's like you hear everything in here, but the words with Portuguese is like eu estou aqui. I mean, that's not a great example on the fly, but some of the words like they blend together, and you think that it's like one word, but it's like 8 words that have been kind of smashed together with the way that they speak. But if you're listening to the way that they're talking, you're listening to the breath and the cadence that comes up and down as they are discussing whatever the topic is in front of you, you start to see, oh, a stew. You pick out a word here, a word there, and then like it starts building upon itself, that you're able to fully hear the sentence because you're caught into not just their breath but the cadence. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at is with breathing. Other thing is journaling and writing. Not for like writing for, technically it is all for you, but not writing like blogs, but writing out scripts and thinking about topics that I want to present to you and to present them in a more professional manner. Most of my stuff has been kind of off the cuff and kind of avant-garde and doing things my way, and trying to look at things the way that like some of the best in the business are doing things. So one of the things that I've been watching right now has been like Peter McKinnon, and he's like, well, I've been doing this for like 3 years, so what's the results been? And he's on the top of the game, and he started off with just trying to do it for 30 days. So it's kind of what I'm doing. Not doing it great, honestly, but just kind of discuss it and see how things go, and kind of try to get people more interested in these type of things to better organize our thoughts and our weeks and such. So looking at doing journaling, kind of staying on tasks, because like I can go from one topic to the next topic and be kind of all over the place. So I'll look at this thing, and then like I'm out into this next thing, and then like I completely forgot what I was initially wanting to do. But if I like just wrote it down, I could at least flip through the pages and be like, oh yeah, I need to go back to that. So that's kind of what I am looking at. And if you've been listening to what I've been doing on Atypical Vagabond here, then you know that like the stuff with breathing and communicating have been some of the most important things for me in order to become better at communicating. I think that that's important, and not just in front of the camera here. I mean, it is great here, but to be able to communicate with anybody that I'm encountering, even if they're not English speakers. So looking at communicating with Portuguese. So some of the times, like when I'm speaking out loud to people in Portugal here, it's like, "Oh, I want to talk really fast. I want to, and they're like, calma, calma. So it's like, that's kind of like the life. It's like, I need to calm down, take a breath, speak a little bit slower so I can communicate to whoever's in front of me a little more efficiently, and they're able to hear things. So trying to do little things like that and try to change my cadence a little bit so I'm able to keep things a little more interesting. I want to have fun with this channel too. It doesn't need to be all work and no play. I think that's kind of defeats the purpose of my goals, which goes into some other videos that I want to go down the list of. I want to hit like goals of like, what are your goals? Why are you even here watching me or listening to me? So how can I be influential in being a vessel to help you become the better you? So this is the stuff that I want to do. And like I have people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I saw your video on Morocco. That's so great." And like I'm like walking down the street and I'm like, "Oh, that's where that's so cool." Or "Oh, thank you so much on these videos of Coimbra," or "Thank you on these videos on Lisbon." So it's kind of nice to be doing like those destination type videos, and it's a lot of fun being able to go to these places and travel and things like that, or going to Germany and seeing friends in Germany and getting to do that. But it also costs money, and I'm also looking at like what kind of value really does it make for you. I mean, it's one thing to see these things and be like, that's gorgeous. And you see a lot of that stuff with many of these bloggers out there. It's like, wow, this is so great. And that's never been my motivation for doing these videos. It's not been like, oh, look at what I did or look where I am. It's been more that I wanted to provide a passion within you. And sometimes like seeing these destinations, it's like, oh man, yeah, I want to go to that. I get that. I fell into that too, but really it's like, how do you do these things to live in these areas, to go to those places? And that is really the passion that I want to instill in you all. It's like, I think that we all should be able to travel, and that we should, travel more. And that's my goal in life, is to be able to travel more. And when we do travel more, we learn more about ourselves, and it's through others and the relationships that we build with people that we better understand ourselves. And it's through listening, and that goes back to the whole concept that I've kind of been discussing about just breathing. It's not just about like listening to others, but when we take a deep breath and then we breathe out, we're able to really think about the thoughts that are inside of our heads. And that's what unleashes our passion, is to know what do we want? What do I want? What do you want? Asking these questions of yourself. And that's kind of where I'm at, and trying to go into videos that it's going to unlock the passions within you. That's kind of where I'm wanting to go. And drink the water. If there's one thing that you don't know about me, is, and I probably haven't discussed it a whole lot on here, I don't drink alcohol. I do drink a lot of water. Since I've been in Europe, I've actually drank quite a bit of carbonated beverages, some Coca-Cola, but this year I'm trying to decrease the amount of carbonated beverages, Coca-Cola. So just trying to just live a healthier lifestyle. That's my goal. Every year, each day, each week, just trying to live my best life, whether it be eating the spectrum of fruits, of like eating something that's orange, something that's green. If I'm eating specific colors, it's like, like I know that my body feels good when it's, at its optimal point. One of the things that I'm doing, just started this week, is I had purchased an e-bike, so maybe I'll do some videos on e-bikes. Maybe I'll write about e-bikes, if that's something that interests you all, and the different type of e-bikes that are available here in Portugal, or just bikes in general. I love being on two wheels. I like being able to get from place to place without a combustible engine, or it'd be cool to have an electric car, but I don't have that, and it's a little on the expensive side here in Europe. But actually, I think that this year, I'll have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that electric cars had been the highest selling market in the vehicle, so that's kind of cool. So maybe they're hitting the right price point. And I know that they are also working on more charging stations in the next couple of years to meet the demand that's occurring with the amount of vehicles that'll be on the roadways. So if that's something that interests you in climate change, I might get into that later on in the year. Sustainable travel is definitely one of the things that I want to hit. So there's only so much time in a year, and hopefully that's something that I can get into at some point in this year, to write about and do vlogs and things of that. I also want to highlight different businesses here in Portugal, whether it's people that are Portuguese. Definitely want to discuss with them and have interviews with other individuals that are running businesses, and other expats or people that are digital nomads that are trying to live this specific lifestyle, or people that are immigrants to Portugal that are wanting to stay in Portugal, and discussing why they're wanting to stay here. and how they're doing it. Because it's one thing for me to say, yeah, you just do it like this and this and this, and that's not always what works for everybody. Sometimes it's something that what works for me and what doesn't work for somebody else, and what works for somebody else doesn't work for me. And other people can find that. So it's not I have all the answers. There's many different paths that we take in understanding that and getting different solutions to living abroad is a beautiful thing. So it's one of the other aspects that I want to hit, and different ways of different businesses. I don't want to just be like, yeah, this is a software developer and and this is a software developer and this is a remote worker. I want to, have a broad spectrum of people discussing how life is here. Uh, uh, so anyway, um, that is kind of the spiel that I had to drop here. I was really just wanting to get back into the flow of doing a live video. I think the last one I did was on the fly also. I think that I was down in Tamar, walking around, kind of showing you how beautiful it was. Again, that was more of a destination type video, and it was just pretty cool to see things going on as they were there. So if there's any questions, you might not have been able to see this video live, but if you have any questions, you can drop them down in the comment section and let me know what ideas that you might have or what things that you want to know. So if you're interested in specific things to bring you value, please let me know in the comment section. You can message me via Facebook or over at Instagram. I have both over there, and I end up communicating pretty frequently. Usually on Instagram, I'm a little less responsive. I'm not on that as often as I am on Facebook, but I typically get a notification at one point in the day and go over to Instagram and check it out just to see that. And I'm not being as social on social media as I once was, but I still have the communication that I have with people behind the scenes. So I said that I was going to go for about 30 minutes. I currently don't see anybody online because I didn't promote myself today. It was a little bit on the fly. I was wanting to do these on Wednesdays, and I threw it up there on the community tab in YouTube to see what day works the best, and I think that people said Thursday. So the funny thing is that Thursday is kind of a difficult one for me. So tomorrow, so maybe all those that said that they would like to see videos on Thursday will watch us tomorrow. The other thing is, like, a lot of these people that are watching me, they're in the US, I'm in Portugal, and that's at the minimum 5 hours difference. So when I have the time to get on here, it's like 9-10 o'clock. So that puts it like 4, 5, or before, depending on if you're on the West Coast. So it makes things a little more difficult to do in that aspect, to get videos out there. I mean, I don't think that I'm going to be able to communicate on on the camera at like midnight as well as I can at like 9 or 10. But on Thursday, we were doing football. Jogo de football, play soccer, for those in America. So on Thursdays, that's what we're doing now, is we're playing European football, or foosball since we're playing inside. It's winter. Today and yesterday were absolutely gorgeous. Hit in the 70s. It was really sunny. So it's been kind of nice. So maybe we'll be playing outdoors again. But what else? Oh, yeah, that's it. I was thinking as another video is a typical day in the life of what is a typical day in Portugal like for me. Not like this, oh, I'm going to Porto, or I'm going to Lisbon, Nazaré, or I'm going to here. But what does a typical day in Portugal look like for somebody that is working remotely? And that could be something that's a video for me, and like highlighting my life, or it could be somebody else. If you want to see somebody else's life here, I can probably tap other people and be like, hey, you want to come online and me just kind of highlight who you are and what you're doing. It'd be kind of fun. It's something that I could do, or a typical week in Coimbra. So it's like one day out of a week I could be doing one thing, but I have to go get groceries. I have to I need to get clothes. I need to do this. This thing happened. Oh, I'm going over to such and such's place. So it might be something a little fun, or there's a special event. So it'd be kind of like taking you throughout the week and showing you what it is like to live here. As I said, I was wanting to do some bike stuff, so I might do some just bebopping around. What do the bike trails look like? How safe is it to ride a bicycle? That'd probably be pretty interesting, because it's quite a bit different. Or compare and contrast riding a bike in the U.S. versus riding a bike in Portugal. So for me, it's significantly. I feel a lot safer in all aspects, including being out there on a bike. So yeah, said I was going to go for 30 minutes. I'm trying my hardest to extend this video to 30 minutes. It looks like I am right at 23 minutes. So I have 7 more minutes to discuss things. I wish that somebody else was on here just to be like, hey, how you doing? But unfortunately, nobody's popped on here yet. I did see that there was somebody on here earlier, but they were on here for a little while and it popped off. Might have just been like, oh, what's going on? A video. What else? So I talked about journaling, talked about breathing. I talked about breathing quite a bit, the importance of it, doing videos on those. What else? Oh, Carnival's coming up too. I forgot all about that. You probably saw Carnival that was last year. I think I had a couple videos, one of them in Coimbra. It was just probably a short for the Coimbra one. And then I did another video in Milhada. One of my friends invited me to come out there to see her stuff, and probably gonna do that. And I also want to get out to the countryside for Carnival, because it is significantly different than what you see in all these other videos, because most of the people concentrate on like a Brazilian style of carnival that's here in Portugal. There's a significant amount of Brazilians in Portugal, especially as immigrants. They are the largest number of people coming to Portugal to live. So they have a significant influence on the type of carnival scene, especially in Lisbon, in Milha Agada. So I think that that's kind of neat. It's really pretty if you've seen any of these videos. However, it's pretty darn cool to see the ones that are more of the ancient variety that originated here in Europe. And if you're unfamiliar with the carnival, it kind of was a harvest festival. So when it came down to Fat Tuesday, they were had these high amount or significant amount of food reserves from their harvest, and they ate all their foods so that they would stay on this religious pilgrimage of not eating afterwards. So it's interesting, and I want to learn a little bit more about it and document it. It'd be kind of cool to go out to these areas. The big thing with like the Brazilian type of carnival is you have like these huge flowers or feathers, sorry, that come out, and got like all this stuff going on like that, and dancing in the streets and having floats and things. But the way that the Portuguese carnival is like, it's typically red, yellow, green paper streamers from their mask and their costumes and everything. They're kind of bouncing up and down like this, the way that they're made. So it's kind of a little bit of a pagan-ish type of a thing going on. So see how that is. See what I can explore with that. So this is something that I am highly interested in. I'm also thinking about another Camino. As if that's something that you all are interested in, I could document another Camino. If you all were around back in April of last year, ended up walking from Porto to Santiago de Compostela, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And probably won't do that specific pilgrimage as the Camino de Português. I'm thinking about maybe doing a Camino de Francês. So yeah, that's something that I might try to do again. End of April, beginning of May. I also have some friends from the States that are looking to visit throughout the year, so I'm trying to juggle all these different things. Just had a friend come here this week, so it's kind of cool to see them and get to catch up. So yeah, I guess I could do videos about how do you communicate with a family that lives back in the U.S. versus living here, and how that dynamic works, because that's something that is a challenge and difficult. So looking at that, and people back home, their life doesn't change just because I move out of the country. So looking at that would be maybe interesting for you all to discuss, or to discuss with you all. But yeah, well, it looks like I hit that 30-minute mark in about 30 seconds or so. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Hope that this is something that you could use as a feedback for myself, to tell me what your interests are in order to help you join into your passions in life, and or to whatever it is that you're wanting. Maybe it's to become more focused on specific tasks at need and going through specific goal-oriented things. So that could be something that you could ask for me, like, so what are the steps to move abroad, or what's the steps of becoming successful? Yeah, so if you made it to this far in the video, you're a super trooper, and a super fan, as they say on the YouTubes. Anyway, if let me see, if you notice this is something that talking about family, just to give back. And in the thumbnail I was pointing at it, but that's something that is a thing that I had with my daughter when she was born. It's one of the Beanie Babies from back in, gosh, I think it was 2000, maybe a little bit before. But she and I both had one of these, and this is the one that I had in my car. And I always, when she was in her car seat, I would throw it back to her, and she'd be like holding on to it and everything. So just one of those little things that I keep around here to remind me of my daughter. So that's a little bit of me giving a little bit of myself to you all. Yeah, thank you for watching. And oh yeah, I think that's another thing that I wanted to add. I want to add a little bit more Portuguese. So I'm thinking of starting off videos with a little Portuguese. So if, say, like you're wanting to learn a bit about Portuguese, like you are hearing a little phrase here, and that's something that you can think about. It might be something that's on the subject, or it's just something that's random in my head. So it gives me a chance to practice speaking Portuguese a little bit more. So yeah, so that's that, and thank you all for being here. Muito obrigado, até amanhã, and I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.